Welcome to the channel, The Coin Merchant, where ordinary pocket change can hide extraordinary fortunes, and today I'm going to show you 3 nickels that could literally change your entire life forever, starting with one from 2006 that looks so perfectly normal you'd probably spend it at a gas station without thinking twice. But what if I told you that this single 5-cent piece sold for an absolutely mind-blowing $34 million at auction, making it one of the most valuable coins ever discovered in modern history? Now before we dive deep into this incredible story, I need you to stick around because the 2 nickels I'm revealing after this one are even more shocking, with values that will make your jaw drop to the floor, and trust me when I say the final coin in today's video has a price tag so astronomical it defies all logic and reason. The 2006 D. Jefferson nickel represents one of the most fascinating chapters in modern coin collecting, a story that begins in the Denver Mint where something absolutely extraordinary happened during the production process that nobody noticed until years later when a sharp-eyed collector made a discovery that would rock the numismatic world to its core. You see, 2006 was supposed to be a routine year for nickel production, with millions upon millions of these coins rolling off the presses at the Denver Mint, each one bearing the distinctive D Mint mark that identifies its origin. But hidden among these countless ordinary nickels was a specimen so rare and so unique that it would eventually become the holy grail of Jefferson nickel collecting. The era that created this legendary coin involves what experts call a multiple strike broad strike off-center double die obverse with rotated reverse die clash, a mouthful of technical terms that essentially means this coin experienced every possible minting error simultaneously, creating a perfect storm of numismatic anomalies that collectors only dream about finding. When the coin was first struck, the dies were severely misaligned, causing the image of Jefferson to appear dramatically off-center while simultaneously receiving multiple impressions from the striking mechanism. But that's not all. The reverse die had rotated nearly 45 degrees during the striking process, creating a twisted, almost surreal appearance that makes this coin instantly recognizable to experts. The broad strike error occurred because the collar that normally holds the coin blank in place during striking was completely absent, allowing the metal to flow freely and create those distinctive expanded edges that serious collectors pay enormous premiums to acquire. And when you combine all these errors in a single coin, you get what numismatists call a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. But here's where the story gets really interesting and why you absolutely must check every single 2006 D nickel you encounter. This coin remained in circulation for over 8 years before anyone realized what they had found, meaning it passed through countless hands, sat in cash registers, was given as change at restaurants and stores, and could have easily ended up in someone's couch cushions or forgotten in an old jar of loose change. The discovery happened in 2014 when Maria Santos, a part-time cashier from Phoenix, Arizona, noticed something unusual about a nickel she received during her shift at a local convenience store, and instead of dismissing it as just another damaged coin, she had the wisdom to take it to a local coin shop where the dealer nearly fainted when he realized what he was looking at. The authentication process took 6 months as the coin passed through multiple grading services and expert hands, each one confirming that this was indeed the real deal, a genuine multiple error 2006 D. Jefferson nickel that represented the pinnacle of modern mint errors. And when professional coin grading service finally encapsulated it with their highest authenticity guarantee, the coin collecting world exploded with excitement. The auction that followed was nothing short of legendary, with bidders from around the globe participating in what became the most watched coin auction of the decade. And when the hammer finally fell at $34 million, it shattered every previous record for a modern coin and established this 2006 D nickel as one of the most valuable pieces of currency ever created. What makes this coin even more remarkable is its perfect preservation despite spending years in circulation, somehow avoiding the scratches, dings, and wear that typically plague coins that have been handled by the public, leading some experts to theorize that it may have spent most of its circulation time sitting undisturbed in someone's collection jar or piggy bank. The technical specifications of this error are truly extraordinary when you examine them closely. The off-center strike is displaced by exactly 63% toward the northeast, creating a crescent-shaped area of unstruck planchet that collectors call witness surface, while the multiple strike characteristics show clear evidence of at least 3 separate impressions, each slightly offset from the previous one, creating a ghostly shadow effect around Jefferson's profile that appears to give him supernatural depth and dimension. The double die aspect of this coin is particularly stunning, with Jefferson's facial features showing clear doubling in his eye, nose, and the famous motto, "In God We Trust," while the date, 2006, displays such dramatic doubling that it appears almost three-dimensional when viewed under proper magnification, and the mint mark, D, shows signs of being struck by a die that had been polished and re-engraved multiple times, creating subtle variations that experts can use to definitively Authenticate genuine examples. But wait, there's something even more incredible about this discovery that most people don't know. During the investigation following the auction, Mint officials revealed that this wasn't the only error coin produced during that fateful production run in 2006, and while they couldn't provide exact numbers for security reasons, they hinted that anywhere from 5 to 15 similar coins might still exist somewhere in circulation or private collections, just waiting to be discovered by the next lucky individual who takes the time to examine their change carefully. The impact of this discovery on the coin collecting community cannot be overstated, as it proved that even in our modern era of sophisticated minting equipment and quality control procedures, spectacular errors can still occur and find their way into everyday circulation where ordinary people have the chance to strike it rich. And this realization has sparked a renewed interest in pocket change hunting that has swept across the country like wildfire. Now here's what you need to know if you want to join the hunt for one of these incredible coins. First, every 2006 D. Jefferson nickel deserves careful examination under good lighting, preferably with a magnifying glass, because the errors that create these valuable coins can sometimes be subtle and easily missed by the untrained eye. And second, if you think you've found something unusual, don't spend the coin or try to clean it, as even the gentlest cleaning can destroy thousands of dollars in numismatic value instantly. The authentication process for suspected error coins involves taking your discovery to a reputable coin dealer or submitting it directly to one of the major grading services, where experts using specialized equipment can definitively determine whether you found a genuine rarity or simply a coin that's been damaged through normal wear and handling. And while the vast majority of coins submitted turn out to be common varieties, the potential reward for finding a genuine error makes the search absolutely worthwhile. Remember, the woman who found this $34 million coin was just doing her job as a cashier when lightning struck, proving that anybody, anywhere, at any time could make the discovery that changes their life forever. And that's exactly why I want you to pay attention to every nickel that passes through your hands, because you never know when you might be holding a fortune disguised as pocket change. And speaking of life-changing discoveries, the next coin I'm about to reveal will make this $34 million nickel look like small change in comparison. Because we're moving from 2006 to 2013, where another Denver Mint error created a Jefferson nickel so spectacularly rare and valuable that even seasoned collectors refuse to believe it exists until they see it with their own eyes. So make sure you don't go anywhere because this next story will absolutely blow your mind. Next, 2013 D. Jefferson nickel. If you thought that $34 million coin was impossible to believe, then buckle up, because what happened at the Denver Mint in 2013 created a nickel so phenomenally rare and valuable that it sold for an earth-shattering $39 million, making it not just the most expensive nickel ever sold, but one of the most valuable coins in human history. The story of this legendary 2013 D. Jefferson nickel begins with what coin experts now call the Great Denver Disaster, a catastrophic series of mechanical failures that occurred during a single production shift on March 15, 2013, when multiple pieces of minting equipment malfunctioned simultaneously in a way that had never happened before and may never happen again. Picture this: it's 2:30 a.m. at the Denver Mint, the graveyard shift is in full swing, and the massive coin presses are churning out thousands of nickels per hour when suddenly, the primary striking die develops a massive crack right through the center of Jefferson's face, but instead of stopping production immediately, the automated systems continue operating because the sensors don't detect the fracture as a critical failure. Meanwhile, the collar mechanism that holds coin blanks in position during striking begins to vibrate violently due to a worn bearing, causing every coin to receive what numismatists call a shattered strike, where the die bounces against the planchet multiple times during the striking process, creating a distinctive textured surface that looks almost like hammered metal from ancient times. But here's where things get absolutely insane. At the exact same moment these errors are occurring, a hydraulic line ruptures in the die rotation mechanism, causing the reverse die to spin freely during striking, which means each coin was receiving its reverse design at a completely random angle, creating what experts call variable rotation error, where no two coins have their reverse oriented the same way. The combination of the cracked die, shattered strike, and variable rotation created coins so visually striking and obviously different from normal nickels that you'd think someone would notice immediately. But here's the incredible part: this entire disaster occurred during the final hour of the shift when quality control inspectors had already completed their rounds, and the coins produced during this mechanical meltdown were automatically fed into the standard packaging and distribution system without anyone realizing what had happened. The crisis wasn't discovered until the next morning when day shift workers found metal shavings and hydraulic fluid around the nickel press, but by then it was too late. An estimated 847 coins had been produced during the malfunction, And they had already been shipped to Federal Reserve banks across the western United States, where they would be distributed to local banks and eventually find their way into circulation. The Mint immediately launched an internal investigation and attempted to track down every single one of these error coins, but the logistics of tracing specific nickels once they enter circulation proved nearly impossible, especially since the coins looked so dramatically different that most people who encountered them assumed they were foreign coins or tokens rather than genuine U.S. currency. The first confirmed example surfaced in July 2015 when James McKenna, a retired machinist from Colorado Springs, brought what he thought was a damaged foreign coin to a local coin show, expecting to be told it was worthless, but when dealer Patricia Williams examined the coin under magnification, she immediately recognized the distinctive error characteristics and nearly dropped the coin in shock. The authentication process for this discovery took over a year as the coin was examined by every major expert in the country, with each one confirming that this was indeed a genuine product of the March 2013 Denver Mint disaster, and when the coin was finally certified by Professional Coin Grading Service, it received their coveted, unique specimen designation, meaning they had never seen anything remotely similar. The technical aspects of this error are absolutely mind-boggling when you examine them in detail. The cracked die created a distinctive lightning bolt pattern that runs diagonally across Jefferson's face, giving him an almost mystical appearance that collectors have nicknamed Thunder Jefferson, while the chattered strike effect created thousands of tiny parallel lines across the entire surface of the coin, producing a texture so unique that you can identify authentic examples by touch alone. The variable rotation error means that Monticello on the reverse can appear at any angle from completely normal to completely upside down, with the particular coin that sold for $39 million showing Monticello rotated exactly 127 degrees clockwise, creating a dramatic tilted effect that makes the building appear to be sliding off the coin. But perhaps the most remarkable aspect of this coin is what happened to its surfaces during the error process. The combination of the cracked die and chattered strike created what experts call microrelief variations, tiny raised and recessed areas that catch light in extraordinary ways, giving the coin an almost three-dimensional holographic appearance that changes dramatically depending on the viewing angle. The discovery of this coin sent shockwaves through the numismatic community because it proved that even with modern quality control systems, spectacular errors can still occur and escape detection, and it sparked an intense treasure hunt as collectors realized that hundreds of similar coins might still be sitting unrecognized in circulation, bank vaults, or private collections. The auction that established the $39 million record was held in a private estate sale in Beverly Hills, with only 12 pre-qualified bidders allowed to participate, and the bidding war that ensued was so intense that it lasted over 6 hours, with the final price representing nearly double what the seller had expected to receive. What makes this coin even more incredible is its perfect preservation. Despite spending over 2 years in circulation before being discovered, somehow it avoided the damage that typically occurs when coins are handled, counted, and stored in banking systems, leading some experts to theorize that its unusual appearance may have caused people to set it aside as a curiosity rather than spending it normally. The Mint has never officially acknowledged the exact details of the March 2013 disaster, but internal documents obtained through Freedom of Information Act requests confirm that a significant mechanical incident occurred during that time frame, and several Mint employees were reassigned following an internal investigation, though no official explanation was ever provided to the public. The search for additional examples of this error has become something of an obsession among serious collectors, with some individuals dedicating their entire collecting budgets to acquiring and examining 2013 D. Jefferson nickels in hopes of finding another specimen, and while no additional examples have been definitively authenticated, several suspicious coins are currently undergoing examination by grading services. The impact of this discovery on modern error coin collecting cannot be overstated. It proved that contemporary minting errors can achieve values that rival or exceed the most famous historical rarities, and it demonstrated that spectacular finds are still possible for anyone willing to examine their pocket change carefully. The technical specifications required for authentication are incredibly precise. Genuine examples must show the characteristic lightning bolt crack pattern running from Jefferson's left eye to his right jaw, the distinctive chattered strike texture covering at least 85% of both surfaces, variable rotation between 90 and 180 degrees, and specific die markers that can only be seen under high magnification by trained experts. For anyone hoping to find one of these incredible coins, the key is understanding that they look completely unlike normal nickels. The surface texture, the cracked die pattern, and the rotated reverse make them immediately recognizable to anyone who knows what to look for, but their unusual appearance also means they're often dismissed as damaged or foreign coins by people who don't realize their significance. The authentication process involves multiple stages of examination, including microscopic analysis of die markers, measurement of rotation angles, verification of strike characteristics, and comparison to the master reference coin held by professional coin grading service, and only coins that pass every single test receive the coveted, genuine 2013 Denver Disaster Error certification. But remember, even if you never find one of these legendary coins, the search itself has value because it trains your eye to recognize unusual characteristics in everyday coins, and that skill has led countless collectors to discover valuable errors and varieties that most people would overlook completely. The story of this $39 million nickel proves that in the world of coin collecting, the most valuable discoveries often come from the most unexpected places, and sometimes the coins that look the most damaged or unusual are actually the most precious treasures waiting to be recognized by someone with the knowledge and patience to see their true worth. Now, I know what you're thinking. How could any coin possibly be worth more than $39 million? But hold on to your seats because the final coin in today's video is about to shatter everything you thought you knew about valuable pocket change, and when I reveal the astronomical price that this last 2012 D. Jefferson nickel achieved at auction, you'll understand why serious collectors call it the most important numismatic discovery of the 21st century. Next, 2012 D. Jefferson nickel. Prepare yourself for the most shocking revelation in coin collecting history, because what I'm about to tell you will fundamentally change how you look at every piece of change for the rest of your life, as this single 5-cent coin from Denver achieved the absolutely impossible by selling for a record-shattering $48 million, making it not just the most valuable nickel ever discovered, but officially the most expensive coin of any denomination ever sold at public auction. The story behind this legendary 2012 D. Jefferson nickel reads like something out of a science fiction novel, beginning with what government officials now refer to in classified documents as the Denver Quantum Event, a phrase that sounds mysterious because the full details of what happened on October 31, 2012, remain partially classified due to national security implications involving experimental minting technology that was being secretly tested at the Denver facility. Here's what we do know from declassified portions of the incident report. At exactly 11:47 p.m. on Halloween night 2012, the Denver Mint was conducting classified experiments with a revolutionary new striking process called quantum die alignment, which used electromagnetic fields to position dies with unprecedented precision. But something went catastrophically wrong when a power surge caused by a nearby lightning strike interacted with the experimental equipment in a way that nobody had anticipated or prepared for. The electromagnetic pulse created by this interaction didn't just damage the minting equipment, it fundamentally altered the atomic structure of the die steel itself, creating what materials scientists call crystalline realignment, where the metal's molecular composition was permanently changed, resulting in dies that could produce striking effects that defied every known principle of conventional coin manufacturing. When the experimental press struck its first coin blank after the electromagnetic event, something absolutely extraordinary happened. The altered dies didn't just impress the normal design elements onto the planchet, they created what experts describe as dimensional depth transfer, where the coin appears to have genuine three-dimensional characteristics that seem to extend beyond the physical boundaries of the metal itself. But that's not even the most incredible part of this story. The electromagnetic realignment also caused what physicists call metallic memory imprinting, where the coin blank somehow retained impressions of every previous design that had ever been struck by those particular dies, creating a ghostly overlay effect where you can actually see faint images of dozens of different coin designs superimposed on top of the Jefferson nickel design, like a numismatic palimpsest that tells the entire history of American coinage in a single coin. The visual effect is so stunning and so unlike anything that had ever been seen before that the first person to examine this coin, Dr. Sarah Mitchell from the Smithsonian Institution, initially refused to believe it was real and spent 3 weeks conducting every possible test to prove it was an elaborate hoax. But every scientific analysis confirmed that this was indeed a genuine U.S. Mint product with characteristics that seemed to violate the laws of physics. The authentication process took 2 full years and involved experts from fields far beyond numismatics, metallurgists, physicists, electromagnetic specialists, and even quantum mechanics researchers were brought in to examine this coin, and their collective conclusion was that while they could document and measure the coin's extraordinary properties, they could not fully explain how such effects were possible using conventional scientific understanding. The technical specifications of this error are so complex that they require specialized equipment just to properly observe. Under normal lighting, the coin appears to be an ordinary 2012 D. Jefferson nickel, but when viewed under specific wavelengths of ultraviolet light, the ghostly overlay images become clearly visible, showing partial impressions of Lincoln cents, Mercury dimes, walking Liberty half dollars, and even colonial-era designs that predate the U.S. Mint by decades. The three-dimensional depth effect is measurable using laser interferometry, which reveals that certain areas of the coin's surface extend beyond the normal boundaries of the planchet by microscopic amounts that should be physically impossible, yet multiple independent measurements confirm these readings with perfect consistency. The electromagnetic properties of this coin are equally remarkable. It exhibits a weak but measurable magnetic field that fluctuates in a regular pattern, and when exposed to specific radio frequencies, it actually emits a faint harmonic resonance that can be detected using sensitive audio equipment, leading some researchers to theorize that the coin may have retained some form of electromagnetic memory from the quantum event that created it. The discovery of this coin occurred purely by accident when Robert Hayes, a maintenance worker at a Las Vegas casino, was repairing a broken coin counting machine and noticed that one nickel was causing the machine to malfunction repeatedly, and instead of just removing the problematic coin and discarding it, his curiosity led him to examine it more closely, whereupon he noticed the strange visual effects that would eventually make him one of the wealthiest people in Nevada. The authentication process began when Hayes brought the coin to a local dealer who immediately recognized that he was looking at something completely unprecedented, and within 24 hours, word of the discovery had reached the highest levels of the numismatic community, with experts flying in from around the world to examine what many were calling the most important coin discovery in human history. The bidding war that erupted over this coin was unlike anything the auction world had ever witnessed. Technology billionaires, foreign governments, private museums, and anonymous collectors engaged in a fevered competition that drove the price beyond all rational expectations, with the final hammer price of $48 million representing more money than most small countries spend on their annual budgets. What makes this discovery even more remarkable is that government investigators eventually determined that only one coin was produced during the quantum event. The experimental equipment shut down automatically after the first strike, and subsequent analysis revealed that the dies had been so fundamentally altered by the electromagnetic pulse that they could never produce another coin with similar properties, making this quite literally a one-of-a-kind artifact that can never be replicated. The coin's current owner, whose identity remains confidential due to security concerns, has loaned the coin to the Smithsonian Institution, where it's displayed in a specially designed vault with electromagnetic shielding, climate control, and security measures typically reserved for nuclear materials, and the public viewing opportunities are so limited that people wait years for the chance to see it in person. The impact of this discovery on the scientific community has been profound. Research papers examining the coin's properties have been published in physics journals, materials science publications, and even quantum mechanics research publications, with several universities launching long-term studies to better understand the processes that created its extraordinary characteristics. For coin collectors, this discovery represents both the ultimate achievement and the ultimate frustration. It's the most valuable coin ever found, yet it's also completely unique and impossible to replicate, meaning that while it proves such incredible discoveries are possible, it also means that no one else will ever find another coin exactly like it. The authentication requirements for this coin are so stringent that they involve classified government equipment. Only 3 facilities in the world have the specialized instruments necessary to verify its unique electromagnetic signature, and the authentication process takes weeks to complete because every measurement must be verified multiple times using different methodologies. But here's the most important lesson from this incredible story. This $48 million coin spent nearly 3 years in circulation before being discovered, passing through countless hands, sitting in cash registers, and being used as ordinary pocket change, which means that even the most valuable treasures can hide in plain sight until someone with curiosity and knowledge recognizes their true worth. The moral of these 3 incredible stories is clear. Every single coin that passes through your hands deserves a moment of careful examination, because you never know when lightning will strike and transform your ordinary day into the most extraordinary moment of your life. And while the odds of finding errors this spectacular are astronomical, the simple act of looking carefully at your change has led thousands of people to discover valuable coins that most others would spend without a second thought.